I get so excited when I get to talk about underrated fragrances and fragrance houses. So today we are going to talk about Attar Collection and their sister brands Lazure and Arabesque. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Aleisha Budget Beauty. My name is Aleisha. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, spotlight videos on underrated fragrance brands, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. Okay, guys, I've actually been wanting to film this video for several months. And I was waiting back then on another one of these fragrances to come in so I could have my full lineup, and then things got in the way. So this has been a long time in the making and I'm excited to talk about it. Okay, so Attar Collection. Now, as far as I know, Attar Collection and Lazure, which are these bottles right here, these gorgeous mermaidy looking bottles. And then also Arabesque, which is this beautiful bottle right here. These are distributed, sold under, created by, if I'm not mistaken, MBA Perfumes LLC, which is out of Dubai. Now, I don't know for certain that they are really called sister brands of Attar Collection. What I do know is that there is a US site called Attar Collection USA, and these are sold on there. And that is where they came from. And I had the honor of receiving 2 bottles, I believe, from Attar Collection USA for free. The rest of these 9 bottles I have purchased myself. So I just want to disclose that most of these I have purchased on my own. And you can get all of these from that website. And I do have a code as well that will save you some money. It's not a commissioned code that I know of. I mean, if they want to, that's great. But just want to disclose everything. It just saves you guys some money. So that's all kind of the background here of where we're going with this. And these are made and out of Dubai. And I do know that Attar Collection has actually been around since 2015. So for 10 years. And then the other 2 brands, I believe, are a little bit newer, came a little bit later on, but Attar Collection, 10 years since 2015. And I do also want to mention, I think that, or I've observed, especially from kind of newer fragrance lovers, people just getting into fragrance, a lot of times people associate Middle East Arabic perfumes as being really, really inexpensive and cheap. Like we're thinking the Latafas out there, the Al-Absar, seeing the price point being anywhere from $20 to $60. But I have to remind people sometimes that it's like anywhere. The US has really inexpensive fragrances like Le Monde Gourmand, but then you're going to have really expensive ones as well. Same thing with France, Italy, Germany. Just because it's coming out of the Dubai area doesn't mean that it's really cheap and expensive, doesn't mean it's a dupe. And this is a little bit in that middle tier. So it's not crazy expensive. We're not talking like up in the Amouage. So that comes out of that area as well. We're not talking about Amouage territory, that price level. We are talking about anywhere from 70, I believe, to 150, which I think is actually a pretty fair price point these days. I also want to point out how gorgeous these bottles are. That one doesn't have the little crystals, but this one does right here. So just look at the details of the bottles. These are heavy bottles. This cap is so beautiful. And here's this one right here as well. So pretty, right? Now this is the first one that I acquired into my collection, and I did purchase this one myself a while back. This is Fleur de Santal. And this one, it really caught my attention. I thought this smells expensive, a little bit exotic, and very, very unique. And so the notes on this one, pink pepper, angelica, pear, ylang ylang, iris, mimosa, musk, argan oil, and sandalwood. And I find this fragrance to be a really nice kind of cozy fall fragrance. You really get this pepperiness at the top. The Angelica brings a little bit of a green note to it as well without smelling grassy. And I love the sandalwood in this. It doesn't quite verge on that pickly sandalwood. It's really smooth and nicely woody. And I thought this is a perfectly unisex fragrance that I wondered why I wasn't seeing more people talk about this house whenever I just kind of randomly blind bought this. I thought this is really, really lovely. Now, the second one I brought into my collection, I was influenced by my dear sweet friend Janelle. She is incredible. And she was raving about Arige. And I think, you guys, I was reading up on the brand before I started this video. And I did stumbled across an article that said this is now discontinued, which Attar Collection, come on, you can't be discontinuing the beautiful fragrances that you have. I have described this fragrance often as a princess straight out of the bath. It is this clean, that cotton cloud. It could be bedtime as well, either straight out of the bath, bedtime, sort of gym scent that is like a clean, fluffy cloud of, it's not necessarily like soap straight out of the packaging, but it's that like lathered, soft, bubbly, kind of creamy Dove soap type of a scent, or what's left on the skin whenever you just smell someone that you're like, oh my gosh, they always smell so good. And it's not necessarily that they smell like perfume, but they just have that really clean elegance to their skin. And you ask them, did you just take a bath? Did you just get out of the shower? Because you smell really good. That is what this fragrance is. I have gone to bed wearing this so many times and just been like, yep, I'm a princess. I'm going to bed a princess. I'm waking up a princess wearing this fragrance. It is so, so good. I think if I had to choose my favorite of all of these sort of clean girl, I know some people don't like that term, but just for lack of a better thing, like clean girl, clean boy, it doesn't matter. That clean, soapy, almost aldehydic type of scent, it would be Arige. It is the top of the top, elegant. It smells to me like a $400 fragrance that is not $400 at all. And at the time that I'm making this video, it is still on their website for $150. And again, I do have a code with them to save you a little bit of money. But the notes on this: rose, peony, white flowers, magnolia, vanilla, benzoin resinoid, violet leaves, absolute, talc, white musk, amber, and powder. I think if I were to read those notes and not have had Janelle's kind of urging to like try this fragrance or that she loved it so much, I think I would have been a little bit hesitant. I would have thought, oh, that may be a little too floral for me. Like, you've got magnolia and the rose. I love violet in any kind of a form, so the violet leaf didn't scare me. But then I hear like the talc and I just would have been a little bit nervous. Oh my goodness. It's exquisite. It's beautiful. I cannot believe they are discontinuing this absolute gem of a fragrance. Okay, next up we have something quite different. This is a lot deeper, richer, more mysterious, and bold. This is Cult Night. And again, just taking this gorgeous bottle here. This is a sexy, deep, almost maybe leaning a little bit masculine cherry fragrance. You have cinnamon, vanilla, the cherry, patchouli, and I think there's even apple in here and a little bit of vanilla, if I didn't already say that. So my nose picks up a almost cherry cigar, even though there's no tobacco note in here, but I smell like a cinnamon cherry cigar in this. It's very, very sexy. The patchouli does not bother me whatsoever in this one. It is serving to make it a more robust fragrance. I mean, this one really, all of these also, by the way, wear really, really well. There's not one that's extremely fleeting on the skin. So some are more beast-like. Like, this is a beastie fragrance. I get a lot of wear time out of this. So I think the patchouli is making it substantial. It's making it project really well. It's giving it a lot of depth, but it doesn't stink, okay? It's not a stinky patchouli in here, but it's definitely present. I mean, I wouldn't say, oh, you can't smell it in here. It's just done really, really well. And this isn't a cherry like all the other cherry fragrances out there. It's not a lost cherry. It's not, even most recently that came out that I talked about, Cherry Stem by Fleur, and how I really liked it, but it was so fleeting. This is like another unique cherry, but that is not fleeting whatsoever. And I think a lot of men would actually like this one a lot. But if you're a woman that likes a bold, kind of unisex fall, winter fragrance, and the idea of like a cherry cigar sounds good to you, then you would love Halt Night. Okay, next up we have Queen of Sheba. And this one is peach, osmanthus, tobacco leaf, incense, tuberose, citruses, jasmine, red rose, white musk, and amber. Oh man, this is another very, very, very sexy fragrance. I get so much of that peach in here. And I get this peach skin. I mean, this is, when we talk about photorealistic, I've had people on my channel ask me about like a real peach fragrance, not a fakey, phony peach fragrance. This smells genuinely like you pick up a peach and you are smelling the skin, and like the fuzz is even like hitting and tickling your nose. It really, really does. The tobacco in this is kind of feminine. It's very subtle. It's not a really strong masculine tobacco. The florals are very light in here too. So I primarily get this really smooth, photorealistic, kind of exotic peach scent. It's also rounded out. It doesn't have like a wateriness to it. There's some kind of thickness to this fragrance. It's probably coming from the base. It's honestly one of those peaches that I think you can get away with it in spring and summer. It's not too heavy, but I think because of some of those other notes, like this subtle incense and the tobacco in here, it also is a peach that works for fall and winter even. It's very, very beautiful. That is Queen of Sheba. All right, next up we have Hayati, and this kind of, I think, maybe had like a little bit of a viral moment. Not super viral, but I think if people have heard of Attar Collection, it's this one and one other one that I'm about to talk about. But everyone talked about this being basically a fruit salad, and it really is. It's a fruit salad with a dollop of cream on the top. It also almost has a Hawaiian punch. To me, it smells like you have your bowl of fruit salad that's kind of that like dessert fruit salad. Okay, not like you just cut it up all fresh. Like it's that one that's got the whipped cream on it, and you have a side of your Hawaiian punch drink as you're eating the fruit salad. The notes in this are, bear with me, I just lost it. Where did it go? Okay, raspberry, berry fruits, pineapple, whipped cream, honey, blackcurrant, plum, floral notes, ice cream, vanilla, and white musk. Let me spray this again. It's been a minute. I don't really get ice cream. No, I really don't get ice cream from this. I get a sort of the whipped cream, like a melting whipped cream on that fruit cocktail. Maybe I should say fruit cocktail instead of fruit salad to make it more accurate. So like your fruit cocktail, the whipped cream is melting. There's a tiny hint of honey in it. Like sometimes you add honey to, I know whenever I make my fruit salads, I add just a little bit of honey to really draw out the fruits, but it's not supposed to take over and just taste like honey. So I get that tiny amount of honey in there. And it's really quite beautiful. I definitely get the pineapple for sure. It smells like Hawaiian punch, but not just straight Hawaiian punch. Hawaiian punch, fruit cocktail, whipped cream melting on it with a tiny bit of honey. That's what I get in Hayati. And so I can see people loving this, and then I can see some people thinking it's just kind of a little bit less elevated than some of their other fragrances. But I think it's really, really fun for summertime for sure. Okay, so the other fragrance that I've seen some people talk about, really only those two, is Crystal Love for Her. Now, I did not realize at first when I got this, I thought it smelled sort of familiar, but I was like, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I've never smelled it before. The last time I wore it, I knew right away what it reminded me of, and that's Wicked by Victoria's Secret. Now, it's like you take Wicked, and if you don't know that one, it is like a brown sugar, amber, vanilla type of fragrance. Freesia is in there, I think. So it has like this sort of fizzy brown sugar, vanilla warmth to it. It's like you take that and have a tiny bit of white chocolate running in the background. That's what Crystal Love is. So it's not a complete copy of that, but it has a similarity to it that now I can't unsmell it. When I smell it, I just think of Wicked. So it kind of makes it almost a little bit smoother. Like I think of Wicked as being that sort of fizzy, bubbly fragrance. And that brown sugar kind of gives it like a crystallized scent texture to it. And then this white chocolate in this smooths things out. That's really what I get from it. I think it's really quite lovely. I mean, I think this one is one that's perfect for kind of a transition summer to fall. It's kind of light. This isn't the like beastiest projection fragrance out of all of them. Kind of has a coziness, kind of has a little flirtation to it. I think it is quite lovely. That is Crystal Love for Her. All right, next up we have one of my favorite musk fragrances, and that is Musk Cashmere. Cashmere with a K. This is so beautiful to me. This is one of those that is simple. There's not a whole lot going on. It is black pepper and musk, cloves, and I think gardenia and sandalwood. And it is so elegant. It is also not a basic smelling musk either. You have just enough of that black pepper and cloves to make it something interesting and unique as far as a musk fragrance goes. But then the sandalwood in this is so smooth, not pickly whatsoever. The gardenia doesn't really stand out necessarily as a floral in this. It's like, I described a recent gardenia fragrance. I talked about how I haven't always liked gardenia because sometimes it can go dank and dark. But when I like gardenia is when it is light and like the petals are just floating in the air, just kind of kissing the scent of the perfume. And that's what this is doing. It is one of those that like when I wear it, I cannot help but keep smelling myself, and it's so addictive to me. It is absolutely one of my favorite musks. Musk can go harsh sometimes. Like the musks that I have a difficulty with are those really harsh, sharp, white musks usually. The musks that I love have like an intimacy and a coziness, and they kind of wrap around your body, or when they kind of go sexy leaning. And this is just that cozy wrap around your body, but with that unique extra little touch of something like the pepper and the cloves in it. One of my favorite of the Attar collections by far. That is Musk Cashmere. All right, last before I get into the Lazure and the Arabesque is the last Attar collection. This is Annabella. This is one I had a little bit of difficulty with at first, and I grew to really love her because this is one I need to let sit on my skin for a good 30 minutes to an hour until it goes from a, I don't know if I like this, to, ooh, I really, really like this. Now, the notes in this I thought would right away be one of my favorites. It has some of my favorite notes. It is osmanthus, oolong tea, big tea lover here, freesia, one of my favorite florals in a fragrance, milk, Sometimes I love that. It just kind of depends, but it can make a really beautiful fragrance. Sandalwood, okay. Orange blossom, usually I like it. Vanilla, white musk, gardenia. This doesn't really smell like all of those notes at first to me. Whenever I spray this, I get that kind of dark dankness I was talking about with gardenia. And even though it's in the base, it's what I smell right off the top with this kind of synthetic plasticiness. And it gave me a little bit of Good Girl as well. Carolina Herrera Good Girl, which that's not my favorite fragrance. It didn't really smell exactly like it, but there was something reminding me of it in there. But as it sits on the skin, that kind of weird plasticky thing at the top goes away. That kind of dank darkness goes away. That tea comes into play a little bit. I start to get that little pep of freesia that smells a little bit like strawberry. The milkiness comes through. It starts to smooth out. The musk warms up on the skin, and it becomes a really cozy, comforting, kind of cuddle in your blanket fragrance. This one just takes a little bit of time. So it's kind of hard to just recommend it right away. By the way, they do have samples, which is great, on their website. And I have smelled almost all of their fragrances on the whole website. I think there's maybe 2 that I haven't. So getting a sample I recommend that. But I think if you do happen to have this fragrance and you think you don't like it, definitely give it some wear time, because I think it's just one that changes so beautifully on the skin, but not necessarily as safe, just blind buy. You need to test it out first. That is Annabelle. All right, now we're moving on to the Lazure fragrances. So this is Lazure by Lazure. And again, just the bottle. I just fell in love with these bottles. And I think these are still on sale for somewhere around 70 or 75 on their website, which is not bad at all. By the way, they ship really, really quickly. And I do want to also bring this up is they let me know that there has been a lot of fraud or a lot of fake dupes out there on other seller sites. And I actually read a whole article on Fragrantica talking about kind of the mystique around this brand and like who really owns it and where is it really made out of. And like they confirmed it is made out of Dubai, and that there are some phony counterfeits going on out there, I think from China and Russia. So that's just a little bit of warning. That's about Attar Collection. I'm not sure about Lazure, but I'm just telling you guys this because I can say that the site is safe to purchase from. The US site, that is what they recommend that you purchase from to know that you are getting a legit product. And I mean, they shipped next day for me. Very, very, very fast shipping. So Lazure, and I believe this whole line was kind of created, inspired by the Arabian coast, hence the kind of like sea looking bottles. The notes on this one: passion fruit, lemon, nutmeg, rosemary, apple, freesia, lotus, hibiscus, white musk, and vetiver. This one is really, really unique. I mean, just right there, you're hearing these fruits like passion fruit, but then you have nutmeg and rosemary in there. You have some of that woody vetiver at the base. I get so much of this bright citrus at the top that's so beautiful. And that nutmeg and that rosemary is really subtle. It's not this like taking over, this really kind of in your face aromatic like herbal thing. No, it's very, very subtle in the background. This smells like coast to me. I mean, I've never been to the Arabian coast, but I'm imagining, I'm buying what they're selling. Okay. I'm like, okay, I buy that that's what this would smell like. I wore this this summer a few times just in the sun, and it was so bright and beautiful. This doesn't have that real harsh acidic type of citrus. It's not a cleaner type of citrus. It's really, really smooth, really lovely. I just had to take a deep breath of it. I just imagine I was on the coast. Here we are going into fall, I know, but this one really is beautiful. Like I would say, if you're going on a vacation like that in the fall and winter, or if you're watching from another country and you are in your warmer era, this is a beautiful fragrance. That is Lazure. The next one is called Coral Ray, and it's this gorgeous purple bottle here. These are some of my favorite bottles in my collection, you guys. This one's very different. I don't get as much, I don't smell this and think coast as much, but I think more of a nice, elegant coastal resort from this. This has a really light kind of almondy, powdery muskiness to it that was really unlike any other almond musk type of fragrances I had in my collection. It smells very unique. It smells expensive. It smells kind of like if they came in and cleaned, you're staying at this really nice resort, right? Say on the coast, and they came in and cleaned your room and like fluffed your pillows, and everything is like white in the room. And you've got these beautiful, I'm picturing those resort pillows. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like they're always like the really, really nice ones. They're large and they look like they're just full of down feathers. And you just kind of want to come in and like lay on like your cold bed from being out in the heat. That's what I get more so from this fragrance as opposed to the last one that's more like out and about, sunshine. This is come in and like cool off and cozy up, but still kind of in that coastal vibe, I suppose. It's really, really pretty. Very, very unique. I've worn this one to bed as well. This one and that Ariege are those really kind of bedtime scents. Even the musk cashmere. They do musk. That's what one thing I want to really drill home. They do musk better than anyone. I've never smelled musk smell so smooth and elegant and addictive as I do in their fragrances. Attar Collection, this Lazure line, brilliantly done. So that is Coral Ray. All right, speaking of musk, and this is my very last one, this is the Arabesque line, and this is Elusive Musk. Now, whenever I said I purchased 9 out of 11 of these, they had sent me almost all of their fragrances sample wise. And then they said after, I sampled them all that they would send a bottle of my favorite. And this is the one that I chose. Now I already owned a couple of bottles before they sent those samples. I think I owned maybe 4. And I purchased that many afterwards after smelling the samples because I love them so much. But this Elusive Musk really stood out to me. This smells like it could be a Penhaligon's fragrance to me. It's, if you know Penhaligon's, it has that kind of European royal expensive quality to it, but not as expensive. I think this is $100 on the site, I believe. Also, it comes in a really beautiful box. Oh, those Lazure ones came in stunning boxes as well. Really beautiful packaging on those. Oh, and what am I saying? Hopefully I'm popping it in, you guys, the pictures of the boxes because they're so pretty. But anyway, this has the notes of musk, pink peony, orchid, yuzu flower, magnolia, orris, mate, sage, Australian sandalwood, cyprer oil, and Indian saffron. Now, I wouldn't necessarily think I'd read all those notes as well and predict that this would be my favorite because I have had experience with cyprer oil before where my nose just didn't quite jive with it. Magnolia is not my favorite floral. I can like it, but it just don't usually love it in a fragrance, but it did have a little the tea element in it, which I like. I really like peony. So this was kind of like going to be up in the air. Oh, and it has orris, which is my favorite note. So it was kind of a toss up, right? This is one that could be a signature scent for me. It also kind of reminds me of Aran fragrances, if you guys know those. So that's cedar violet, their Mediterranean honeysuckle, that line, Aran fragrances. It has that kind of simple refinement to it. And the way that the florals bounce in and out with the smooth kind of powdery orris in here, a little bit of that tea. The musk, again, is done so brilliantly. This was one that I just thought I could wear this every day and be happy. It's perfect for any situation. It does thrive in the heat. I've worn it like that, but I've also worn it when it was a little bit chillier as well. I think heat is probably where this does thrive the most because it has those kind of pretty white and pink florals in it. But it's just elegant and it's classy and it's sophisticated, and I couldn't stop smelling it. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I really didn't have anything exactly like it either in my collection. To me, this makes some of your like designer floral smell just cheap and boring and redundant, and this just sets itself apart. I just think it is so classy and elegant and beautiful. That is Elusive Musk by Arabesque. That's it, you guys. That is my little rundown of my Attar collection, Attar Collection USA. Everything's from that site collection here. So the Lazure and the Arabesque. I cannot recommend this house enough, and I hope again that people understand that just because this is out of Dubai doesn't put it in that like TikTok shop flash sale $25 fragrances. Like, these are elegant luxury kind of niche smelling fragrances in my opinion at a really good price, and I'm a huge fan. That is it, you guys. I thank you so much for watching, and as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping, and smelling fabulous. Bye.